Hello everyone, I am Plankera. Today, I'm going to continue rigging Shalom from Path to Nowhere. Still working on cutting all the art out. I have much of the head done, and today I think is mostly going to be void filling in the hair. But before I do that, I just noticed a small little error in her eyes that I wanted to come fix real quick. The eyelid is just a little bit strong, right through there, so kind of wanted to go in and erase it a little. There we go. It's just kind of the wrong shape. Just noticed that while... Collapse that for a second just so I don't have to scroll so much. Just something I noticed when I was going through and checking everything this morning. Comparing everything to the original. Alright. And I need just a touch more out here. It's like I think it looked fine the way I had it before, but considering I am trying to animate the official art here, I do want it to look as close to what it was as possible. So I'm being very particular about these tiny little details. I don't think you actually need to be this particular when rigging your own thing. This is strictly it's me wanting to make sure I capture as much of the original as possible. So I'm getting very caught up on details that, honestly, for most projects, are not that important. Just kind of a necessity here, just due to the nature of this particular project. I make this just a little bit longer than usual, so this way I can go in and erase it like this and get it to the length that I want it to be. This way it'll have a nice fade. There we go. Oops. A little bit. Just angled that way a little. I think I shaved off a bit too much. So I'll poke at this for just a little bit. These are just tiny, tiny details to look more like the original. So, might be a little bit boring. But I do want to capture them. And I do want to do all of the process on stream, even the boring parts like this. Unfortunately, not all of art can be fun and exciting. It's just kind of how it is. I think that's what people really mean when they say that you have to suffer for your art. It's not that you have to be poor or anything like that. It's art can be kind of suffering sometimes. There we go. Okay, I think that's good. See, this is why I didn't want to go through and rename all the layers on the duplicate just yet, because I kind of figured that I'd be changing the eyes a fair amount periodically still. And that's just kind of how my process is sometimes. Okay. Now I can go back into the hair and figure out how the heck am I going to do this? Alright, well, I'll start with the tips on the front hair, because they've been bothering me a bit. And I've honestly been kind of looking forward to going back and touching them up. Okay. Remind myself how I divided all of this. Okay, so I just have the 3. Do I want to divide it further? I don't think I need to. Alright. So to start with, I just wanted to touch up the tips over here a little. I definitely need this to be fairly small because I need to press hard. A lot of the time when I'm using the airbrush, I'm actually pressing very, very softly. But I need it to be have the edges a little bit harsher than when I normally use the airbrush. That's the nice thing about Krita's airbrush. It's like, if you press very, very lightly, then it, demonstrating the cheek hair, assuming, there we go, lets me turn off there. It's like if you press very, very lightly, you barely see it at all. And then as you start kind of middling the pressure, you see it more clearly. And if you press really, really hard, it actually gives you a pretty decent hard edge there. So, it's very nice. I enjoy it lots. I like it much better than Photoshop's. So, I'll be using smaller brushes than I normally do. Normally I use brushes larger than the area that I actually want to cover. Just because then I don't have to push as hard in order to get the size that I want. I just find it a little bit easier to deal with. Okay. I think this is probably fine. I'm actually going to hide the eyes for a second just because I think they are going to distract me. It's like I don't have any other super noticeable shading here. I can use that to really gauge where the beginning and end of everything is. There we go. This process is very slow, a little bit tedious. And you'll see me go back and forth between them a lot. For my own projects, this isn't typically something I have to worry about, but here, like I said, when I was just getting those tiny little angles to look just the way I wanted on the eyes, I really am trying to make it look like the original as much as my skill level will allow. And that requires a bit more effort. And here you can see some of the heavy artifacting, like the original unscaled version does not have any of this blue in there. So I basically am just going to have to go in and paint over some of that. That's why I said that this redrawing and void filling was going to be a little bit painful. It's because I knew that there was going to be a lot of little things in there that, well, they just have nothing to do with anything really, but I still have to worry about them. Let me hide this for a second. I'm gonna have to edit all this out, so I'm gonna lock this layer. I'll go ahead and hide the other sides for now, just so it's very clear to me where I'm working. You get to see the funny egghead. Really is very funny, isn't it? Like, I'm pretty sure none of those little red spots are actually there. Yeah. It's just spots that the upscaler didn't quite like, apparently. Did a pretty good job overall. But there's just some spots that I'm just gonna have to go in and fix, and that's fine. I can do that. I'm doing a lot of that right now. Now this will be slowly but surely getting rid of that little strand that I hid, this little guy, off of the original. That is what it means to void fill. Because right now if I left it there, and then I just had the strand, you know, swinging around as I planned to, it's not gonna look very good. Like, there's still gonna be signs of the spots underneath it. And I can't really have that. So I just kinda gotta edit it all out. Kinda figured that I'd be going through and cleaning a little bit more on around the edges as I redraw and make it clear where some things are. But that's okay too. I'll be mostly using the soft brush for a lot of this, but sometimes a hard brush is necessary. Or when I want to put in some of these harder lines, like this. So right now what I'm trying to do is make this shape a little bit nicer. Right now it kind of has this weird little divot bottom there. And I kind of want to round that out, so I'm just doing it with a solid color for now, and then I'll go in and add the rest of the colors after. It makes it a little bit easier for me to visualize the shape, personally. Just, when in doubt, do whatever makes life easier for you. That's how I always see it. I'll go use some of these colors over here to kind of fill in the rest. This way I can lock the layer again and just not have to worry about coloring outside the lines anymore. There we go. We'll lock that down. Then I'll start getting all these other colors in there. The light colors, the dark colors. I missed a spot. It's fine. So I'm kind of looking at where over here when it turns from light to dark. I think it's somewhere around here. The colors in this hair are a little bit more clearly defined than they are in, like, the skin, for example. The skin is just super ultra smooth, almost a little unnatural. But here it looks like it's a little bit more textured. So I want to make sure I capture some of that as I redraw everything here. Probably made things harder on myself by using official art instead of just drawing my own rendition of this character, but I really like the idea. I think the idea is super cool. Of just taking the art that's in the game and making it move. It's like she already does have some in-game Live 2D art. But why not more? Why not take the image that's not animated in-game and just animate it a little? It sounded like a lot of fun to me. So I'm rolling with it. I've been wanting to experiment with style matching and stuff like this anyway, so seems like a great time to do that. Gotta be ambitious. I know a lot of people say that, you know, when you're learning something, you should take on a smaller project and kind of get a feel for things, and I think this is extremely solid advice. If you can stomach it. But it's like sometimes you got something in your heart, and you just gotta make it, man. Forget it if it's hard. Just do it. It's like, in a few years, once you get good at whatever the thing that you're trying to do is, you'll probably look back at that and be like, man, I wish I did something simpler. But like, screw that. I think a lot of the times people trying to keep things simple and restraining their heart, stopping themselves from going for the project that they really want to be working on. Sometimes I think that can be just as damaging. Sometimes you just gotta go for it, man. Don't worry about it. So here I am. Rendering hair in a style that I don't know. The style that I'm doing my best to imitate. Okay. Pretty tricky. But I'm having a good time. I think I'm honestly having a better time than I would if I just made my own art. Let me look at the highlights here. Yeah, they've got a pretty hard top. So I don't want to get rid of this too badly. So sometimes I'm referencing the image that I have scaled up here. And that's always nice because I can just, you know, hide this and I get a very direct comparison to whatever it is I'm doing. And sometimes I go and look at a version of the web that has not been upscaled. Just so I can see, is this how it actually looks, or is this, you know, artifacts from upscaling it? And I've been finding that pretty helpful to have both. It gives me a pretty good point of comparison. Let me see, what is this little lump here? Okay, it does kind of do that. You can see the little little tiny lump right here, so I guess I'll just keep it like that. I don't think I need to smooth that out. We'll take this outline color and push it around a little bit, though. I seem to have gotten rid of it in a few places. Which, you know, is fine. Just because I know that it can be hard to differentiate between the line art and the shadows. And I wanted to make sure that I got rid of all of the shadows. And I knew that I could always go back in and redraw the line art a little bit. And it'll be fine. Kinda. It's a bit less over in that area. Let's see here. I want to imitate this a little bit better. All the color from here, I'm actually just going to reduce the opacity of the entire head. Well, no. I think I'm just going to go hide all the head layers for a sec. Just so I can see where that goes. Okay. I actually got it pretty close. Closer than I thought I did. Would help if I unlocked the layer too. Been making that mistake a lot lately. It's a bit strange. Okay. I need to check something. Is that hair? I think it is. It's hard because her hair color and her skin color kind of blend together there, but I think this is hair. So I'm gonna go connect these a little bit better. There we go. Oh man. It's really hard to see. I'm gonna have to just hide a bunch of stuff, I think. Make sure that I have it properly connected the way I want. It's like it's easy to say that as long as it looks fine. In that specific instance, it's fine, but it with rigging, it really isn't. Because, I mean, it's gonna move around. And if something is off when it's moving around, it becomes like 100 times more noticeable. So I think it's like this. Okay. Now I can go turn this back on. And take a look here. Yeah, I think this is all okay. Just minor adjustments over here. Just need to make this a little bit longer. There we go. I'm gonna turn the head back on. I'm gonna go reference unscaled here. How much does that red go into that white? It actually has a pretty clear distinction. If anything, I might be blending it a little bit too much here. So I should probably stop around here. I think I've gotten the strand taken out. Maybe not. Is that part of the strand? I guess it is. Okay. So I think this little light that I left in there is actually part of the strand that I need to get rid of it. The loose strand that I have drawn above, that is. Let's see here. I can do something like this. Put that little separation back in there. There we go. And I probably don't want too much of a highlight here. I want to blend it in with the rest of the shadow shapes here. Pull this back up. I probably am going to have to make a separate layer for the shadow of this. And just so it can have a little shadow underneath and swing around as much as it needs to. Okay, now let's do that loose strand. Let's take a look. What does that loose strand look like? It's a bit hard to read, honestly. So I'm just gonna make it look good, and I'll call that good. It does kind of have this weird lump coming off of it like this. But I don't like that, so I'm going to smooth it out a bit. I'm going to try to keep as many of these colors as I can. But some of them I'm pretty sure are wrong. Like, I do not think that hot pink is there. No, not at all. So I just kind of need to get rid of that. And I can always pull the colors for the line art from the lower layers, so I'm not too worried about overwriting it. Right now I just want to focus on getting pretty shapes. And that weird lump there just looks bizarre to me, so I don't like it. I don't like it, even if I'm heavily imitating this original picture, doing the best I can to get as close as possible. Sometimes if I can't make it work, I can't make it work. It's fine. I can do some things according to my own taste. Gonna smooth out that little lumpy part again. And I also want to smooth out this tip. The tip I think I'm gonna just draw real quick. There we go. Admittedly, right now I'm just starting with the top because this, believe it or not, has the least amount of redrawing that I'm going to have to do in it. I am terrified. This is pretty tame compared to some of the voids that exist in the other ones that I'm going to have to fill up. Like, this one's on top. It doesn't have anything on top of it. I do not have to worry about stuff being on top as long as I'm working on this on the front bangs. But soon that will no longer be the case. And I'll have to make sure I have enough hair floating about. Alright, time to grab the color here. Yeah, I think it's right around there. And go in and put these little lines back. And just put those little lines back in. There we go. And I think I want to move a little bit down there. There we go. How's that looking? A little bit blobby. I think I might need to clean that up a little bit more. How's the other front one looking, though? It's a little bit blobby through here, I think. But over here is looking alright. So I do want to clean up some of that. So you know how I feel about blobby things. Where it just doesn't feel smooth and pretty. That's just a sign to work a little bit harder on it. There we go. smooth out right over here. This artist style does seem to be a bit blobbier than mine, but that's fine. This is ultimately my take on this, so my desires trump what was there before. There you go. Even though I said that that little lump is just kind of there, I do want to smooth it out a little bit just because I think it looks kind of bad on my version when I zoom out. Part of stylistic differences is just what you can get away with. And I apparently cannot get away with being as blobby as this artist can. Okay, that's looking a bit better. Let's fix this now. Let's just fix this one now. I want to shave a little bit off here. It's like I want to keep it maybe a little bit more lumpy than I normally would. Just because that was part of this artist's style. But I still want it to be a little bit smoother than it was. How's that? Still feel like there's a little bit of weird aliasing over here. I'm gonna try to draw a little bit more clearly here. See if I can't get rid of some of that. See if I can't fix that. There. It's a little bit better. I can just get rid of this little corner right here. And clean up right over here. Okay, I think that's looking pretty alright. Yeah. Now, one thing that I want to do is I think I want this front bang to go up right against this other hair. So I'm going to take this kind of line art color that I was using there and extend it a little bit higher. Do I have the wrong color? I thought I grabbed the right one. I guess I didn't. There we go. I just want to shove that right up against this. And then I'll go in and clean it all up. And push the pixels around just like so. Alright, and that's a small void filled there. I still will need to add a shadow layer, but I don't think I want to do shadows just yet. Right now, I think I just want to focus on filling in all these little areas. Okay, so now I definitely need to reference the original here. Ooh, this is gonna be tricky, isn't it? Because the underside here is actually kind of the... like, the underside doesn't actually go all the way up here. Ooh, how am I gonna fill that? Okay, let me go find the layer that does that. I'm pretty sure it was on the left side. Probably near the bottom. I have this hidden. I need to turn it on. Okay, so this is one of them. I guess it's a lot higher than I thought it was. There it is. Okay. So we have this. I think I'm still okay with having that separate from this. And this only goes up partially. And then we go into this new layer. It's way down here. I think I'm gonna have to do some of this all at once. So let's clear some of the side hair here. And let's see, I'll start drawing the underneath part of some of these. Okay. We have that, and then on top. We have this. And I think what I want to do for this one is I want to take this shadow color, dark color here, and extend it out and around. I just want to make this part darker, and I'll probably take some cues from the other dark parts around here to make that look nicer. That this way when the head is turned in such a way that we see more of the underside here, it'll look nicer. This is basically what void filling is. Need it to be a little bit darker. I didn't get it dark enough. There we go. That's much better. Doesn't it already look like you can kind of see the top of this underneath piece now? Probably gonna have to do some reordering of layers, but that's okay. Right now, I'm just getting the overall silhouette of what I'm going for here. Let me make sure I know what I'm doing here. I know what I'm doing here. We're good. And I don't think I want to extend it up higher than this. Let me go find that layer. Hide it just to make sure I can see what I'm doing here. Okay, and then that's just from the other side being on top. Definitely let me make sure that I have this all just right. There we go. Okay, now I should be good to lock this and take in some of these other dark colors that kind of show up through here, just to make it a little bit more interesting looking. And have it just kind of cut in a little bit here. I think that's probably about correct. So now I should be able to turn this back on and it should seamlessly just go back underneath how it was before. Let me see. Did I get rid of too much of the dark? A little bit. But only a little bit. Okay. So I'll get my dark color again. And you can see it kind of vanished a little bit right through there. So I kind of want to put it back. There. So now it should be correctly reflecting what was on the original. I should see very little difference. Perfect. Okay, and since this one's on the bottom, I want to extend the part that kind of comes out this way. Just a little. Just to kind of cover this hole. This may not be necessary, but I think it'll give me more flexibility in the future. Just so there's not this super hard edge here. And it kind of just goes in and gives me a little bit more buffer room. Odds are we will never see this part. But that is okay. If I need it, it will be there, and it doesn't take that long to draw. Okay, so far so good. I think this strand is probably fine. I think I might need to draw up top just a little bit, but not that much, all things considered. I just kind of want to fill in right there. That's about it. Okay. I do need to fill in a little bit on this side, just to ensure it goes far enough across and down to cover all of the areas that I'm going to need it to when the time comes. But most of this is just going to be hidden by the hair all the time. I just want to give myself some space for potential turns. And for hair blowing. I want to make sure I follow the direction here. There we go. How does that look? And did I get rid of any dark parts that I should be concerned with? Let's take a look. No, that's about right. Perfect. So now I just gotta draw in there. Extend what was already there. Fill in any gaps I find. There were a couple there. And just get all that in there. A lot of this is just kind of extrapolating from the environment around. Okay. So now there's one more little guy who I apparently have hidden right now. There he is. So this little piece. Gonna have to hide a bunch of stuff here, but I do think I want to do this little piece now too. Yeah, here and here. And then here. Perfect. I just want to extend this guy out a little bit too. Just to make sure that I have enough space to do everything that I want. Pretty much the same as with all the other ones. There we go. So this should give me plenty of room to show more or less of that little piece. And since it has some stuff on top, I might even put a little bit more underneath. How much can I get away with? Yeah, you know what? I think I will. I'm gonna go extend it downward a little bit too. We'll have this nice big area that I can move around. I'll take a look at the original just to make sure I'm getting all these colors correct. Okay, I am going to want to make sure that this is kind of like this and really keep these dark areas very dark. I just need to have a little bit of texture in there too, because otherwise it'll look weird if I actually decide to use them, and then, well, that defeats the purpose of making them in the first place, you know? So I want to make sure that everything is about right here. And just make them strandy. And that should about cover it. Just let me have everything. And I need to extend down here a little bit. Something like that. I think that about covers. Yeah, I think that looks about right. Let's go turn all the strands back on. And I'll see how it looks in the front. Because I really was just doing all of this to make sure that the front hair here was all correct. There just happened to be a lot of other little pieces dedicated to that front bang. So I guess while I'm over here, I'll start doing the left side, which is going to be our right. Keep the front hair on for now. Let me see, is this the layer order that I want? I do think I want the front bang in front. But I need... like, this one should definitely be closer to the top. Probably underneath that main side bang. This will be, like, the strands, extra strands. Okay, so here. Yeah, I definitely want it underneath that one. Okay. I'm gonna do a little bit of layer order stuff for just a minute here, just to make sure I will be satisfied once I import it into the rigging software. Okay, what strand are you? This one needs to go up here, I think. Needs to be with that one, since they are together. Yeah, while I'm here, let's just get rid of this strand here, since I have a separate layer for it. And that's just part of the ear. I probably have that on a layer somewhere. Which layer has the ear? Okay, this one has some of the ear. Let's see if I can't figure out how to... more gray, is it more red? It's more red, so the red is probably the correct color. So I will just go in and start getting rid of the ear there. Just because it's gonna bug me if I don't. Okay. The ears are gonna be their own thing later. Start with that for now. And then I'll come back up here. Oh, huh, did I never erased this. Oh, that was silly of me. This is on top, right? Okay, yeah, so all the rest of the stuff here is on lower layers, so I know I got it all. Perfect. So now I want to extend these layers out into here. Just have it go all the way over to its side layer. I might end up putting that side layer on top. We shall see. Unclear to currently. And I'll definitely make sure all of this looks nice later. But for now, I need to eliminate all the signs that this strand ever existed. Okay, good. I did bring it all the way up. I was just looking at this bit right here, and I was like, huh, did I not fully pull that out? But I did. Good job, past me. Right. Now I don't have problems to deal with. I just kind of get all that out of there. I should probably lock this just so I don't start fixing stuff that should be fixed on other layers. I think I made the executive decision to not separate the highlights here. But that is okay. I don't need to. Go ahead and put this color in to separate it from everything else. There we go. This is the downside to getting all these loose little strands out. Like on the one hand, you'll have all this nice opportunity for nice hair physics, but on the other hand, the suffering. It adds quite a lot of work. Okay, so this is probably all of this now. I have made the decision to put that layer further up once I find it. But I have to find it first. It's a scavenger hunt. Okay, so this is the very back. It's just so much. Well, that I think I keep there. Do I already have it that high? Isn't there another one? I don't have the original hair showing. Okay. Okay, so it was just... That's why I was getting confused. I was seeing, the body. These two... I think I want up top. Not the topmost, but pretty close. That's you. That's you. You, I think I actually want to keep. And some of these I'm just keeping them together so that this way they're easier to find. Okay, so with that in front. This one needs to be on top of that even. Okay, so that should give me a little bit more flexibility in certain things. Forgive me for taking a moment to figure out my layer order. I do need to keep that down there, so this way it's underneath this strand. Okay, that looks correct. And that being lower than that is good, I think. This is something I was gonna have to figure out eventually, so... I'm just trying to find the combination that results in the least amount of work for me. Okay. So let's see, I was working on this part. I might as well finish it. As you can see, this is why it's important to name your layers, because otherwise you kind of have to do a scavenger hunt like this. Unfortunately, I can't really avoid the scavenger hunt just because of how I have to name them to be easy to find in the rigging software. The names are too long, so I can't see them. I'd have to extend this much further out, and I don't want to. Okay, so I think I can bring this out over here, this out over here. There's lots of little strands here. I'm just gonna have to kind of feel it out. Okay, and then should be able to just tuck right through there. Or a dark color that I can use. I guess this works. Perfect. Okay, so this seems about what I want. I'm gonna have to hide some layers. Does look like I am gonna have to extend this one upward a little bit. I'll grab some of the colors around here, and we'll put it in, just to fill in all the gaps around here. Don't want the gaps over there. Okay. There's a lot of just tiny little gaps that I just need to fill in here. It won't take too long. It'll take just a moment. I want to make sure I pick mostly the right colors here. There we go. That's better. Is that an underneath? I'm trying to remember how I cut this the other day. Yes. So this part should extend over here. Okay. And that side hair I was working on, not part of that. What are you? You part of the underneath? You are. Perfect. That means I do not have to worry. And I can just worry about making sure that this side hair has good shapes. Okay. I'm gonna go lock and clean for a second. Probably gonna have to unlock it and draw underneath this hair for a little bit, but I'm taking a little break. Getting rid of some of the weird blues that, for whatever reason, the upscaler I used decided to put in. There are some parts that are just like super gray, and I'm not sure why. Kind of gray or blue. The shadows are much more red than that gray. I'm gonna try to keep those colors. They look nicer. And I'm also over here just making sure to eliminate any sign of that other little strand in the original. And so it can go out and do its thing, independently of everything else. There it is. I don't... Is that random blob there? What is that? Oh, I need to turn this back on. It's like there's this weird, just blob right here. I have no idea what that's supposed to be. Can't tell if that's shading or some kind of artifacting. I mean, there is a darker color in there on my unscaled reference, so I will try to incorporate it. I think this color's okay. I'll try to keep him a little. Just separate the strands here. That hot pink is definitely not supposed to be there, though. I'll do my best to quash that. Okay. I can go around and focus on getting all these areas that I had to kind of mess up a little bit more smooth again. This artist likes to add little strands like that. I'm gonna take a break from that one and I'm gonna go do this more frontmost side bang once I find it. There it is. Okay. It's because I don't like all these random grays and stuff showing up in it. I'm trying to figure out which color I think is the right one to be using here. I think up here. Did I pick the wrong layer? I did. There we go. There we go. That's much better. Really don't know why everything got artifacted so hard. Maybe I should have tried to find a better image to use for this, but too late now. I don't feel like redoing everything I did. Even if it's a little bit inconvenient. See, that color doesn't look any good, so I'm gonna go pick something from my non-upscaled one. Just made it way too gray. This color looks a little bit better. There we go. Oh yeah, that's much better. Look at that. Look how much better that is than that color that was there. And how well are they blended? Not at all. Let's take a look at the original here. Yeah, this is good enough. I might go back and scrutinize some angles more, but for now, this is fine. I'm just trying to figure out what the heck is going on here. I really am so sad that the artifacts are so bad. Hopefully this is the worst of it, and it doesn't get... It gets a little bit better once I get down to the body. Man, some of this really is just so messed up. Let me see, how did I cut this exactly? And then we have... Where is that piece? Or is that just because I have this on? Okay, now there is another strand somewhere. Okay, that is you. Do I want you to be on top or underneath? You have to be on top. Alright. Gonna go in on this one a little. So I need to get its ending point a little bit smoother than this, I think. Round it out a little so this way I can swing. When you're rigging, you don't really want too many flat angles. These things kind of swing like they're in a circle, like there's an anchor point somewhere. And they swing from there. So if you can, ideally, you kind of want things to be round. Just picture, like, you know, the pendulum of a pendulum clock. It goes back and forth, and the motion that it takes is circular, because it's pinned in the middle. And if you tried to make it follow a square, well, it just couldn't, because it's stuck at the one point in the middle. I just want to round this out a little. Okay. That's much rounder. Now I should be able to turn this back on and everything should just fit together seamlessly. Once I, you know, clean it. Need to blend together the colors and make the edge a little bit less harsh. Smaller. I'm still keeping the circular shape, but right now I'm just trying to minimize the edge here. I'm gonna make this super light. Just do that thing where I just go at the edge until it's just barely there at all. The gradient is so soft you don't even see it. Okay, that should be enough for that. And now I can just go in and cut out the rest. Let's see, does it actually look like that? Oh, right. Yeah, it's pretty red through that area. I was just noticing how red these lines looked. But it is, in fact, pretty red through that area. Right, that reminds me, in terms of layer order, I wanted to take this little strand here and move it underneath. So this way it'll just casually go underneath all that. Okay. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and get rid of that. I might need to hide the body again, but I'm gonna try to keep it on for the time being. Just because being able to reference it is honestly pretty helpful, but no, I really can't. I need to be able to see here. Okay, let's take a look at those strands over here, because the color's not looking quite right. It's looking a little bit sickly. It's looking strangely sickly to me. But this strand is here. And it's more this color, I guess. lock the layer for now, just so I'm not drawing in any weird spots. Do I have the right one? I'm not sure I do. I can't really tell. Oh, but I think this color looks correct, so I will start with these. Oh yeah, I had good colors here all along. And I'll worry about getting the line art back in there after. As always, I don't do line art, so I'm more used to just not having it around. And that's not a problem. Drop here. Like I said, I'm not too worried about the line art now, but I need this little bit to separate here, so this way I know where this bottom strand starts and ends. It'll be something like that. This will be one where I kind of have to go back and forth between this one and the original, I think. Which I will take a look at right now. Yeah, I was pretty sure that the lines around here were much darker. I want to make sure I get them in correctly. There we go. That's a little bit better. I'll go in and fill over here, which I think I erased maybe a little bit more than it needed to when I was initially going through my cutting. Alright, how are we looking? Very nice. Alright, so I know that that wasn't a lot of strands today, but I did get a lot of organization done. I should be able to finish all of this left side tomorrow. But I think that's where I will stop for today. Let's go turn all the layers back on, because it makes me happy. I like being able to look at things throughout the day and get ideas for what I'm going to be working on next stream. But I think it's looking pretty good. I can barely tell that I just redrew this entire bang today. And this, and a lot of this one. This one you can still tell. I haven't cleaned up over here yet. And an ear is missing. But yeah, I'm pretty happy. I think it's coming out great. It's just a bit of a time-consuming process, so. Well, thank you all for coming. If you'd like me to take a look at your own creative projects, whether that be art, writing, coding, game design, any creative pursuit you can think of, feel free to message me or at me on Twitter or Instagram, and I'll take a look, maybe even leave some comments. So I'll see you all tomorrow. Goodbye.